Hello, I am Dane Fletcher, Youth Ministries Director of the Jamaica Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and I'm here with an exciting group of youth from East Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, where we're talking about Global Youth Day, joining youth around the world as we demonstrate God's love with others. Now tell me, just before you tell me what Global Youth Day means for you, share a little bit about yourselves. So we have Pastor Joel Jump, the Youth Ministries Director of East Jamaica Conference, Ifatoya, and Daniel.
So my name is Daniel Loban. I am the AY leader for my church, which is Salem Community SDA. I am also the Bible Connections coordinator for EJC. I have a passion for young people, and I believe, as Ellen White said, it will take a set of youth rightly trained to finish the work of the gospel.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Ifatoya Blackwood, a member of the Kennecott Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pathfinder leader, and I'm also the drill major for East Jamaica Conference. I believe the youth are the future of the church, as she kindly pointed out here. And for me, Global Youth Day is where we carry our young people out there to learn how to reach out to others, because some of them don't have these experiences elsewhere. So us showing them what it means to love others outside of themselves and their family.
So it's a time when we get to model for our young people what it means to be compassionate and caring for others.
That's it.
Now over to the big man.
Me? No, sir. Pastor, if you measure me, you're taller than me by far. So no big man at all. All right. So when you think about Global Youth Day for me, or should I talk about myself a little bit? I don't know which one you want. But I'll say, essentially, I am Joel Jump, as you rightly said, Youth Ministries Director for East. But at heart, I am a young person, right? And I love young people. I just want to be involved. I don't like to sit down and just watch things happen. I don't believe that we should curse the darkness alone, but we need to turn on the light and light a candle, right? And I think that Global Youth Day is that candle that was lit from 2013, right? Yes. When I was an intern at her church at Kennecott. And the one thing I remember about that Global Youth Day was firstly the fact that, we went out into the community. I think we went to a hospital at the time. I think it was not our hospital, like one of those other hospitals in that area. And we prayed for people, we sang for them. But then I didn't have a shirt, right? Because even though I ordered one, I gave it to a young person who did not have one. He said, Pastor, I wish I had a shirt. And I said, all right. So I took it off. And that thing burned me. And he didn't give it back. So I don't have it. I didn't even get to take a picture of the shirt. But, honestly speaking, the experience was amazing, right? And I applaud the General Conference, for coming up with that initiative. And even though young people have been going out all along over the years, when we can put a name to it, right, and say this is the time when we have some structure and some giving and some community involvement, it really makes a big difference. And later on, I guess I'll tell you about some of the stuff that we did last year. But let me hold myself. That's fine. The excitement. Talk about the excitement.
Really where we're going. That's really where we're going. We want to hear some of the exciting things that you did last year as you showed up in the cities. For last year, our theme was showing up in the cities or show up in the cities.
Well, we are from one East Jamaica Conference.
One East.
And one union.
One East within the one union.
So, of course, we showed up in our city, which is downtown Kingston. But before that, of course, each individual church would have done their impact in the morning. So some of us would have gone in some hospitals. Some of us would have gone into some schools to help them. Others would have gone into the community, right, Ifatoya?
Yes, and Golden Age homes and children homes and those things.
So that was what our morning kind of looked like, visiting the shut-ins, helping our individual communities around our churches. And then in the evening, we showed up big in the city.
Downtown Kingston, St. John William Park.
As we came together and we did a small road march is what we call it.
It's small about it because the police actually, when we had engaged the police and said to them they were going to come to a march and stuff like that, and I don't think they recognized what was really going to happen because only one police officer came, and when he came and he was on his bike, Is that the man that to be calling for backup? Like, you know, I couldn't depart that they're responding to a call and the shot start fire left and right. And the caller said, back up. Like literally he was calling for backup and more police officers came because we literally shut down parade, right? And St. William Grand Park. So we converged on that location we walked from North Street Church all the way what again? It is Windward Road, yes. Camp Road, Windward Road, and then we came up
from
Ocean Boulevard and King Street, and we converged. All over. You'll be proud, and you were there. So you didn't just. So he's not against anyone because he was there. He came and he gave the message. He gave the message of hope, and many individuals came to the altar because of it. And you know, before we did that march, though, we're in the community. We had a little, well, not even little, but we had a very engaging experience while we treated persons who came with their various diseases and illnesses and stuff like that. Doctors and nurses were there. We had dentists even, you know, giving medical checks and such like, and we even tested persons for HIV, and we had the hype bus, right? What do you call it? It's a bus or hype mobile clinic. Yes, we borrowed that. And we thank the union for the support in that respect. And we were able to really engage downtown Kingston for the kingdom of heaven. And I'm sure that there were persons who actually started to go to some of the churches that were closer to that location, having experienced what we did on that day. And Kerry says, you know, for the concert aspect, you know, Kerry says was one of those persons who set the place on fire and kept singing till the power of God came down. And just to see how passionate our young people were, you know, coming from St. Thomas. It's not just the people in the city of Kingston, where the young people coming all the way from St. Thomas, all the way from Trinityville, and also our furthest district, which is Hampton Court. They came to Kingston to be a part of that impact. And this year, we're actually breaking it up a little bit. We will be sending them to the different zones.
So we'll talk a little bit about what will be happening for this year.
Yeah.
No, I really remember being a part of the experience.
Yeah.
You had at least at minimum, being conservative, at least 3,000 persons downtown that day, and it was quite impactful. I remember even going live and persons asking me to keep my phone steady.
Yes. You're moving around.
And some churches took my feed,
yes,
and I started to stream from it. So it was quite an impactful experience.
Sure.
And to think about how you would have galvanized such great support, over 3,000 persons to come together from the various zones. I would appreciate hearing how you did that.
I think it was Global Youth Day has been something that young people have been looking towards every single year. It's a staple on our calendars.
Yeah.
Our calendars are marked. We want to know, where are we going to show up in the city? And also, we have to commend the zonal leaders and the AY leaders in the churches. They really got the churches to rally around and realize that though we were a mighty army of young people, we still had our supporting members. There were some older people walking with us. Of course, we had our drum corps. We had our flag bearers. We had so many people that came together for the cause of God. And it was truly beautiful to see. And I remember when we were walking, somebody said, who are those people in that one shirt? Because everybody basically had on the same shirt walking. And I thought to myself, God, if we can show up in the city and shut it down, how beautiful it will be if all of these people that can glimpse us would come into church. And I think that is what GYD is all about.
Yeah, being a sermon, right?
Yes, because our young people get excited every year, as was pointed out. They look forward to getting the shirts every year. They want to know, what is the shirt going to look like this year?
No matter how late it comes.
Yes, we want, and even if Global Youth Day pass, we still want the shirt.
Yes.
Tell you we want it. How we get them out there, it doesn't take anything for you to get them out there, really, because this is a part of being a Christian. It's serving. And being as it's been a staple for years now, they've gotten used to it. And a lot of them like serving. They like going out there and showing the love to others, showing others, this is what Christ represents. This is who we are. And we're from the Adventist church. And I mean, we are one East, so we go to show them
as one.
We're us, yes. And it doesn't take anything for you just call them and say, okay, so we're going to send you here to do this, and we need you to go here to do that. And if they need to get outside persons, because truth be told, a lot of them get persons that are not Adventists to come along with them and serve
Yeah.
and show up in the different areas. They want the church too, they want to be a part of everything. We try to find things to incorporate them and help them to get other persons to come along, because that is our purpose, to bring the lost into the church.
Because the health clinic was, as I said, hundreds of persons came and were treated at the health clinic.
So I hear you speak about having a plan and communicating the plan. So already the young people are looking forward to Global Youth Day. So it is only to plan for it and to communicate that plan. And while you plan, involving them in the process is also critical, because they help to strengthen it. We should not just plan for them, we should plan with them.
Yes.
And you were saying something, Joey.
Yes, I was saying, as she was referring to the matter of persons coming out and being impacted. As I said, hundreds of people were treated at the clinic that we had. Right, because we invested in it. We invested in setting up the tents. So when you came, you weren't going to be uncomfortable, right? And we started that from about 11 o'clock in the morning, running straight up until when we actually had the road march and such like further over in the park. And so when I got park, I didn't realize that park was actually so dynamic, right? The only park I really know in Kingston is Emancipation, and then we know Hope Gardens, right? But there, you know, we recognize that wherever people are, your job is to locate them, to find them, and to help them. Another part of what we did last year was that we actually improved on what was done the previous year. So the previous year was Love is a Verb, right? And during the Love is a Verb time, I must highlight Zone 2, right? And Auntie Monte Carlo, who I call Esther, right? She's the area coordinator for Zone 2. And what they were doing was that they were focusing on a primary school, I think it was, in Seaview Gardens, right? And they adopted the math lab. So they had painted it out and done so much work on it. And then last year now, what they did was that they actually got some chairs for the school. So they wanted to develop a communal relationship with them. Let them know that it's not just about coming today, but then in the future, we're going to call you again. We're going to say, my brother, how are you doing? Let us find ways in which we can enhance your life. So you're not just a little trophy that we put on the wall to say, well, I was there, therefore let us take pictures and then go home, right? Global Youth Day is more than the pictures. And I would encourage them, even when you're doing your acts of kindness, as the Bible even says, that you do not blow your trumpet to say, I am doing well. But Global Youth Day is also about doing things silently, being a silent witness that can draw others to a saving relationship with Jesus Christ.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
So here we are with Pastor Joel Jump and his team from East Jamaica Conference as we looked at what transpired for Global Youth Day 2024. We're taking a brief break and we will return to talk about the beautiful plans that they have for 2025. Global Youth Day 2025.
Global Youth Day, show up in the city.
Welcome back. I'm Dane Fletcher from the Jamaica Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and I'm here with a buzzing group of youth and youth leaders from East Jamaica Conference. We're talking about Global Youth Day. we looked at what transpired for Global Youth Day last year, and now they're ready to share with us what will happen for Global Youth Day 2025 as we join young people around the world, focusing on the theme A Community Transformed. I wonder, what is it that a community transformed looks like to you? Or, by the way, what jumped at you firstly when you heard the theme A Community Transformed?
Well, when I heard the theme, A Community Transform, I was like, where are these people coming from? Like, ACT, A Community Transform. And when I looked at it from a broader perspective, I thought, this is now the time for us to reclaim our lost souls. This is the time for us to go into the city and to transform the community one Bible at a time, one track at a time, and one young person at a time.
All right. Transforming one at a time.
One at a time.
All right, a community transform. What came to mind, or should I say, who came to mind, was our dear youth director here, Joel Josh. I'm going to tell you why. I remember when he came to Kennecott as an intern, and he lived that. He epitomized that in that he came and he never just came there and sat down. He came and he went to the community.
Mhm.
He
He was
transformed
out there transforming. I mean, if they didn't know anybody else in Kennecott, they know the intern pastor. People out there could tell you, say, they could tell you his name. If they don't know the pastor name, they know him name. And it encouraged the young persons to go out there and reach out to the persons, talk to the persons in the community, play football with them. I mean, they always came on the church grounds, just that we never went out there and played on their grounds. So you had persons going out there, interacting with them. He would never drive past anybody from the road. He might drive and him see somebody, he might have to stop and talk to them, encourage them to come to church. He has something to say, something positive, something to do with the community and the people out there. So when I heard this, when I learned this, he's the person that came to mind and where we need to go as a church. And I like the idea that they were heading there. We've been doing it for years, but then we're pushing it more now more than ever. We're pushing it harder because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Going out there. Jesus went out there, so that is our job.
So if I'm hearing you well, when you heard the theme A Community Transformed, incarnational connection came to mind.
Yes.
And Joy modeled that for you.
Yes, he did.
Oh boy. I don't know how I was this point. If what I swell my head like this. but the truth is, if we really want to transform a community, we cannot do it by Bluetooth. You have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You have to be present. And that's what Jesus did. Now, that's what actually inspired the shirt that I'm currently wearing. You can't see everything, but Joel was sleeping one night. Joel Osborne was sleeping one night, and she woke up, sent the design to me. And she said, Pastor, this is it. Now, when you look at it, the community transformed comes from different things. Witnessing on one end, you're looking at the Pathfinder ministry here, right? All the Pathfinders with their colors, right? Ifatai as our drill major. The workman who is working in the corner. When you look at the back,
Education,
right? Education.
ministry.
Because we say that education and redemption are one, right? So we kind of changed up the flair of the shirt this year because we wanted to show them what is it that transformed the community. And then finally, down the bottom, we say salvation, discipleship, and mission. Because at the core of youth ministries, right across the general conference, and there is one general conference, right, and one union, I would say, right, that the core of youth ministry is all about getting them involved in understanding that Jesus has a place for me in his work. So I'm focusing firstly on the young people and then equipping them to go out. Finally, a community transformed would be a community with less crime or no crime. I would love that day. And that's why this year we're actually doing something for the Bath police station, right? To paint the police station to help them to see that
before you share the details of what you've been doing for this year, Joy, I don't want this to pass us by. What I heard you mention that if we're really going to transform the community or to have a community transformed, it calls for integration, it calls for collaboration.
Definitely.
So no one person can do it. No one group of person can do it. it calls
That
for
one
a
person was
diverse,
Jesus, and he didn't do it by
it,
himself.
it calls for a diverse investment of skills, talents, and
Yeah.
resources. And I believe you are saying
Mm.
that we have young people with many gifts,
Of
many
course,
talents,
of course.
and that
Yeah.
the conference and the union
Yeah.
will pump the resources
Sure,
Right,
Yes.
sure,
so
right.
that
I
they,
agree.
so that the young people
Yeah.
can be rightly engaged.
And you talk about pumping resources. Honestly, even last year, this is not Global Youth Day related, but last year when we had summer camp, right? There was a lady who we would have reached out to asking her, to give a donation towards the camp. And her belief in young people was so great that between her husband and herself, they gave us $500,000 towards summer camp. That's Ethelene Thompson. And even though she has passed away, right, that legacy will endure, because if you really want young people to do something and to reach to the higher heights, you have to invest in them.
Yes.
You can't just say, youth, go out. We work.
Yes.
The most of the kids they're just being sent to school. They're not paying for the school fee, right? They're in college. Nobody's more hungry than a college student,
Honestly.
right? So therefore, the church needs to invest in them.
Yeah, we're appreciative for that plug, that punch, and yes, we will do the best that we can.
Yeah.
And we encourage the local church
Yes.
as well to be intentional in this regard. So you shared with us what a community transformed looks like for you. It would be good to hear from Ifatoy and Daniel what that looks like for them.
What it looks like for me, it looks like us loving each other as a people. Because truth is, Jesus is love. And if we go out there and transform the people out there, they'll learn what love is, they'll see what love is, and they will act it and live it. As he said, it's a community without crime. It's an era where people help each other. It's no longer you for yourself, me for myself. Because it's not benefiting me, I'm not helping you. No, we will be at the stage where I help you because I love you, because you need to do better, you need better in your life. Because I'm supposed to help you. That is where we need to be as a community, as a people.
Yeah, Daniel?
So a community transform looks to me like a community filled with God. Almost a mirror of what heaven will look like. When we go in and we transform this community, right? We have people not just being kind and loving one another, but people going out of their way to ensure that not just needs are met, but people are coming to Christ. Because that is a very big part about transforming our communities, getting people to think not just one way or a one-track mindset. It is the holistic man, as the Adventist Church often talks about. We're looking at the physical health, the mental health. We're looking at people's education, sending them to NCU or a Kingsway, right? We're also looking at the spiritual man and how you relate to God and to your fellow.
No, while you speak, I don't want to divert from the matter of hand, but I can hear Christian education coming through you.
Yes.
No. While we look at Global Youth Day 2025, I also heard you mentioning that a community transformed looks like a peaceful and loving place. And I wonder the extent to which the youth of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in East Jamaica Conference, the wider Jamaica Union Conference, can really lead us to move beyond Vision 2030 in Jamaica to make Jamaica the place of choice to live and work, raise families, and do business. That's the kind of thing you've been talking about. Joey, you've been talking about the activities. Jump
into the activities. All right. Remember, all right, let me tell you. So essentially, the different zones will be working toward achieving the Global Youth Day impact goal, right? So we start from zone 1. Zone 1 will be doing most of their impact on the actual day for Global Youth Day. They're choosing a place downtown where they'll be having a health clinic and also a gospel concert, right? But in addition to that, their health clinic will not only focus on the physical health, but mental health. Now, you and I know that there are many persons across the world who put a stigma on mental health. And if a person says, I'm going for counseling, them things say, oh, something wrong with you, you're depressed, you're mad, whatever. But we are thinking from our perspective that a person who is well is not just well physically, but we want them to be well mentally. So we're going to put an emphasis on that as we look at it from Zone 1's perspective. Now, moving forward to Zone 2, right? Zone 2 will be doing 2 projects before the day. So one of them will be a beautification project in the Bedward Gardens community. So persons who know Augustown, you know, Papine, those areas, but the focus is Bedward Gardens. So when they go to Bedward Gardens, they'll be beautifying a wall and putting up a nice mural reflecting a community that can be transformed and putting positive messages out there. Everywhere you go now, you see people who are half naked on posters and all of that. We want to put something positive in front of the young people so they can see it there. One institution that helps to transform a community is a school, right? So Hagley Park Preparatory School is that school on Hagley Park Road that is helping to transform the community. And I saw something beautiful happening there where last year when we had our week of prayer, they actually invited other schools to join them every single day. Another school was there with them. So they are impacting young people. So we're going to be beautifying their playground, right, to enhance the experience for Adventist and non-Adventist children. Now, for Zone 3, they'll be going out in the community on the day itself. They'll be marching through Cassava Peace, right? Cassava Peace is another challenging community in Kingston. You would know about the Gully side where Mavada sings about right there. So we're going there, we're marching through Cassava Peace, and we'll have another health impact. So it's mostly a community transformed in health. Now, Bath, the final place, is going to be the place where we paint the police station, right? I don't know if we can paint all of it, but at least the part that we can paint, we get to paint. And Lord, please give us the resources. Now, we're going to be, the young people will be painting the police station and also doing acts of kindness to the police officers. So we can let the young people know, the people of the community understand that we are here to support the police officers. We're not here to say police over there, so they are Babylon and whatnot. No. We are saying the police, they are valuable members of our society, and we are thanking them for the service that they are doing to help to transform our community and our entire island of Jamaica. As you would know, the statistics show that we're actually 23% lower in our murders than we were last year. So there's something happening. When something bad is happening, we talk against the police and talk against politicians. But when something good is happening, it is important for us to affirm those who are working and also enrich their experience. So on the Sabbath itself, they'll have a road march and also another impact similar to what we're doing in Kingston.
Thank you very much. That really sounds exciting, Joey.
You have to be there.
And that's all right.
You want to go to Central.
We will resolve all matters where that is concerned.
For about 3 times this year, you have to come to East.
That's one of the challenges we have with streaming sometimes. Too many things get out. But before we wrap up, it would be good to hear from Ifatoya, hear from Daniel, how it is that we can encourage more young people to get involved this year as we look towards a community transformed.
All right, when we think about getting young people involved, let's be honest. It's hard to get to young people. It's hard to reach them sometimes. Love them to death, but they are some of the youth ministries the most difficult and rewarding thing you will ever do. It is important that we are building relationship. Youth ministry is relationship. You have to get to know these young people that you want to lead. You cannot lead them to Christ if you don't know them. You have to build some type of rapport with them. And once you build the relationship, we have to then address the need. Sometimes they are hungry. You have to feed them before you tell them about.
Meet them where they're at.
So we are then addressing the needs. Once you get the needs, you build your relationship. Then the next step is simply, they have already seen Jesus through you. So let us introduce them formally now to the big man. Yeah. And when we get that formal introduction, we will see not just 1 or 2 young people, but I think that is the formula for a community transformed.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Okay, I think you are the Bible that people see.
That's it.
And you are the Jesus that people see. And as she said, the foundation is having a relationship with the young people. Because truth is, if you don't have a relationship with them, it's the most difficult thing in the world to ask them to do anything. Persons ask me, how you get them young people that do this? How you get them be their friend? And I'm not saying be their friend where you let them believe that it's okay to do wrong. No, you are their friend and you can tell them that, listen, this is not right. You can't do this. When somebody else that's not their friend speaks to them, they might be offended. They might be hurt by what you say, but they look into it and they'll change. These young people, you can tell them, let us go to Timbuktu. We could go back a God, and they will go with you. I have a set, they call them the crew, because, we work with the young people, but the pastor sees them. If I call them and say, we'll go back a God, the youth director say, come, we'll go Timbuktu, we'll go here. Them ready long time. Until we are wait for ready. But pastor there. So you have to have a relationship with them. You have to have a rapport with them. You have to make sure that you remember that you were a young person, you were a child, because that's where a lot of us as adults feel. We forget that we were teenagers and children and we made mistakes and we needed somebody to rely on, somebody to talk to. So if we can be that safe place for them, we can get them to go anywhere. We can get them to help transform our community.
Thank you very much. And Pastor Jump, in one sentence, what's your word to the young people as we get ready for Global Youth Day 2025?
Apart from saying one EJC, I'll just tell you honestly that, Global Youth Day, just like Christmas, comes once a year, right? But your impact must outlive this day. This is just a day to just enrich you and show you that there are other persons who are willing to be a part of this mission. And we want to show you that you're a part of something big. But at the end of the day, the big things won't matter as much as when you yourself get involved. Don't worry about having a shirt, right? Jesus' blood is all you need. That will cover you. Go there. Tell him about your witness. Tell him about what God has done for you. And when you hear the other youth leaders call, answer the call. Because one day you're going to become a youth leader. And the question is, will you be the example that others will look up to? So, as you think about transforming the community, firstly, seek God's face. And then, get up from where you are. You're never too young to make a difference. If you ever think you're too young, ask the mosquito that kept you awake last night.
That sounds familiar.
Or too small.
Yes. As we look forward to Global Youth Day 2025, a community transformed, it is with excitement that I anticipate the buzzing report coming from East Jamaica Conference.
Definitely.
Thanks for being here. And I hope and I pray that whether or not you're a youth from East Jamaica Conference or from any other conference across Jamaica, or just a youth listening, that you will get involved. Act now. A community transformed, act now to bring glory to God. God bless you.